All right, I'm here with Chris Poole and Riptide Racing, is that right?
Yep, Riptide Racing formed last summer after I got back from Europe, and yeah, it's our second year at it.
Tell us about match race sailing. Why is that better than fleet race sailing?
Well, I like the level of competition. I like the one-on-one. The match is never over. You have 20 minutes sprint, and the boat, you think of the other boats ahead, and they'll never really get back. Like, they'll never break away from you. So it's never over till you cross that finish line, and I've seen plenty of races where we've been passed or passed others right at the line to take wins. So,
what does match racing do for your overall sailing skills in general?
It sharpens my overall boat handling and crew work, because you really need to work as a team, and you need to stay calm and level-headed because there's going to be penalties made, and you just got to ignore the penalties, sail your boat fast, come out ahead. And the teams that do that best without getting frazzled usually end up doing it at the top of the event.
You've been active here in the U.S. now for about 2 years or so. How do you see match race sailing progressing here in the U.S.?
It's blown up a lot since, I started following it probably 2 summers ago when I worked at the Chicago Match Race Center. I was one of the first interns they did there that summer, and that's kind of where I got a bit of a taste for it, and I did one event there, and it went really well. And but places like Chicago, Oak Cliff Sailing Center, Long Beach, California, they all host big events, and I've noticed a lot more smaller clubs that are getting fleets. With more local sailors getting interested in sailing the fleets, they want to do some fun forms of racing, and that can be team racing and match racing. But I see match racing being the thing to go to, just for ease to sail over a weekend. The rules aren't super complex, and you only need to get a crew for your boat. You don't need to fill a three-boat team. So,
do you see this growing in the U.S.?
Yeah, definitely. Compared to what I saw 2 years ago, there's a lot more events. There's a lot more up-and-coming teams. Like, if you look at the average age of the skippers here, it's got to be 21, 22 maybe. So we're actually on the older side of that. No, it's definitely booming. You got a lot of international teams coming all the way over here. Earlier this year we had Dave Gilmore's little brother Sam over here racing, and it's been a good summer so far.
Do you see young U.S. skippers like yourself, Taylor Canfield, and others making any kind of presence on the world stage like the Kiwis and Aussies do?
It's definitely tougher for us. We don't have the youth sailing squadrons that Aussies and Kiwis are kind of born into. It's more and more of those skill sets that you kind of have to tackle on your own. There's not a lot of support for it. There's growing support. You're able to find areas that have fleets of boats that are doing it more often. But as far as up-and-coming skippers, there's definitely a stronger presence. But for right now, there's a few in the top 50 that are really duking it out. But there's definitely a lot more newcomers that I've sailed against in other events that we'll be watching out for in the next couple of years.
The Grand Slam Series, you did last week in Chicago, you're doing here in Detroit. Presumably you're going forward. Do you think that's a good cap to the U.S. season?
I think it's a phenomenal way to end the season. We had surprisingly really nice weather over in Chicago, no rain or anything. In Detroit, the weather forecast is looking good. I like this time of year. Everybody's they've used the summer to do a couple of grade 3s and some grade 2s and just kind of get their feet wet. And then it's a lot asking a team to roll in and do 3 to 4 minutes back to back and not get worn out and stressed out. And it's yeah.
So you think it's good?
Definitely one of the best parts of the summer. It's probably our highlight every year for right now until we get into some bigger stage events. But right now there's prize money at some of the events. There's tour invitations. It's worth the effort to come and put together a team and really step up and try and make a performance out of it. You got guys like Taylor who started on the Grand Slam and now he's on the World Tour. So it's the only way to kind of step up for U.S. sailors is do the Grand Slam. And as you can see, half the teams that come here are international. So they all want to come over here because it's the ability to get 4 back-to-back events, all grade 2s, on your scorecard in 1 month of travel. So it works out quite nicely.
Well, good luck for the rest of the series.
Thank you.